Welcome, chosen ones, to this transformative journey. If you've ever felt like you're waiting for something bigger to happen in your life, then you're exactly where you need to be. In today's video, we're diving deep into divine timing, spiritual breakthroughs, and the incredible transformation that awaits you. The universe has aligned this moment for you right now, and everything you've been praying for is closer than you think. So, if you're ready to step into your divine purpose, to unlock the mysteries of your true potential, then make sure you stay with us through the entire video. It's not by accident that you're here. God's plan for your life is unfolding now, and you're about to witness miracles. Chosen one, I want you to take a moment and reflect on something you may not fully realize yet. You have already faced a spiritual battle so profound, so intense, that it shook the very foundations of the spiritual realms. But here's the incredible part: you won that battle without even knowing you were in it. I know that sounds incredible, but bear with me as I break this down. The reality of your victory is far beyond ordinary comprehension. What happened, chosen one, is that 1,000 demons launched a coordinated attack against you, each demon assigned to destroy you in a specific way. Their plan was meticulous, and they thought they had you in their sights. They aimed to break your spirit, corrupt your mind, cloud your emotions, and wear you down until you no longer knew who you were. But they underestimated the power within you. As they launched this attack, a spiritual system that operates automatically within you went to work, neutralizing their efforts one by one. Each demon's strategy, no matter how powerful, was countered by your innate spiritual defense system. This defense system was built into your soul long before you were born, a divine safeguard that activates automatically when dark forces come against you. It operates without your conscious awareness, and it's designed to protect you at all costs. You may have felt exhausted during this time, and that fatigue is the only tangible evidence of the spiritual war you were fighting. But despite the strain you felt, you emerged victorious. The attack failed, and the demons' efforts were scattered before they could even penetrate your defenses. You might not have consciously known you were in a battle, but the forces of darkness, the very entities that seek to manipulate and destroy souls, now know your name. And more than that, they know your strength. The divine forces surrounding you were ready and prepared. When this attack began, your spiritual armor was already in place. Your spiritual frequency was aligned with divine will, and that alignment protected you from all harm. The exhaustion you felt afterward, that was simply the energy from the battle that your system had absorbed and neutralized. You are spiritually invincible, chosen one, and this victory proves it. Now, let's take a closer look at how these demons tried to undermine you and why their attack was so unique. You may not realize it, but each demon had a specific role in their plan to bring you down. They didn't just attack you randomly, they used strategy, understanding your weaknesses and targeting areas where they thought they could have an influence. The first group of demons, 100 inches total, were sent to attack your mind. Their mission was to sow seeds of doubt and insecurities, to make you question your purpose, your worth, and your identity. These demons whispered lies to you, trying to make you believe that you weren't enough, that your efforts were futile, and that your divine calling was too difficult to achieve. They attempted to wear down your confidence and cloud your clarity. The next group of demons, 200 inches total, were sent to amplify your fears. Their job was to paralyze you with panic and anxiety, to make you feel overwhelmed and unable to take action. These demons worked through your emotions, trying to make you feel like the weight of the world was too much for you to carry. They wanted you to retreat into fear, to question whether the path ahead was even worth it. But you didn't give in. With each wave of attack, you remained grounded, rooted in divine truth, and your spiritual defenses repelled their efforts. The very foundation of your soul and your purpose was stronger than their assault. What made this victory so significant is that it wasn't based on physical strength or mental clarity alone. It was about your spiritual essence. You were not fighting the demons consciously. Your spiritual defense system, forged by God's divine will, activated without your knowing, and neutralized the attacks. Your spiritual immunity is not a temporary shield. It is a permanent part of your being, embedded in your soul. It's woven into the very fabric of your identity, ensuring that no matter the battle, no matter how fierce the attack, you will always remain protected. The demon's power was thwarted by your alignment with divine purpose, your moral integrity, and the strength of your soul's design. They came at you with everything they had, and still, they were unable to break through. You didn't need to fight back with any force. Your defense system was operating at full capacity, protecting you from both the subtle influences and the overwhelming assaults of these demonic forces. In this way, your spiritual immunity isn't just a defensive measure. It's a force of light that automatically repels negativity and darkness. In Psalm 18:2, it says, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge." This divine protection is now actively manifesting in your life, ensuring that nothing, not even the most powerful forces of darkness, can touch you. Your spiritual defense is not a passive shield. It is active, vibrant, and impenetrable. What you must understand, chosen one, is that this victory did not require you to consciously battle or even acknowledge the spiritual war that was taking place. Your strength is embedded in your spiritual essence, and the forces of darkness were already defeated simply by your alignment with divine will. They did not anticipate that a soul like yours, one who is rooted in spiritual integrity, would remain so unshakable in the face of their attacks. Their fear was not just the victory itself, but the realization that they could no longer influence you. You have become spiritually invincible, and this knowledge alone has shifted the balance in the spiritual realm. You are no longer just a participant in the spiritual battle. You are a warrior, equipped with the power of divine protection and immense spiritual strength. What you may not have fully realized is that the victory you won in the spiritual realm has confirmed your spiritual authority. You have earned divine protection, and now you walk in the full power of your divine purpose. The demons may have tried to destroy you, but they were unsuccessful, and their failure has only empowered you further. The spiritual forces that have been protecting you are now actively aligning everything around you to fulfill your purpose. Divine support will now manifest in ways that bring opportunities, relationships, and resources into your life. You are not just protected, you are empowered to lead, to guide, and to fulfill your divine mission. Chosen one, as we continue to unfold the incredible victory you have achieved, it's important to grasp just how significant this spiritual battle truly was. Though you were unaware of it at the time, the forces of darkness launched a full-scale coordinated attack, seeking to undermine your purpose and break your spirit. Yet, without realizing it, you defeated them not through effort or force, but through the power of your spiritual alignment. Your spiritual immunity, which operates effortlessly within you, neutralized their attacks one by one, and the result was a defeat for the forces of darkness so profound that it has altered the course of your journey and set the stage for something far greater. But what made this victory so extraordinary? The answer lies in your spiritual resilience, your divine protection, and your alignment with God's will. The battle you fought, whether you felt it or not, was far more significant than any external trial. It was a cosmic showdown, one where your soul's strength was tested and proven, confirming that no spiritual force, not even the most powerful demons, could overcome you. Your spiritual essence is simply too strong. The defenses you carry within you, aligned with divine truth, became your greatest weapon, and you have emerged from this battle with a greater sense of spiritual empowerment and divine purpose. In this chapter, we will explore how your spiritual immunity played a central role in your victory. This immunity is not something you consciously activated during the battle, it is a part of your divine design. From the moment you were created, your soul was forged with resilience, strength, and a spiritual frequency that made you immune to darkness. When the attack began, your spiritual defense system was already in place, operating at full capacity without you needing to do anything consciously. This system is divinely embedded within you, and it works automatically to keep you aligned with your higher purpose. You didn't need to summon any special powers, call upon rituals, or even be aware of the attack. Your soul's natural composition, forged through countless experiences, has made you invincible to the forces that typically tear others down. You were spiritually immune, not because of anything external, but because of your inner alignment with divine truth. Your integrity, your faith, and your divine connection created an unshakable foundation that repelled the attack before it could even reach you. The exhaustion you felt afterward was simply the manifestation of the intensity of this battle. While your spiritual system neutralized each of the 1,000 demons, your physical body felt the effects of their assault. However, this fatigue was not a sign of weakness. It was proof that you had triumphed and that the battle was over. Now, let's take a deeper look at the specifics of the attack. The demons who came after you weren't just random forces of darkness. They were strategically assigned to break you down in specific ways. Their plan was coordinated, and each demon had a unique role to play. The demons targeted different aspects of your life, each one trying to create confusion, doubt, fear, and turmoil. They were aiming to destabilize your mind, emotions, purpose, and energy. But what they didn't know was that your spiritual defense system was designed to handle attacks exactly like this. The first group of demons, 100 strong, attacked your mind, planting seeds of doubt and confusion. They tried to make you question your purpose, your worth, and the choices you were making. They whispered lies about your identity and made you second-guess your spiritual path. But even though these thoughts crept into your mind, they had no lasting power because your spiritual immunity blocked their influence. You may have felt the pull of doubt, but your core was too aligned with divine truth for their attacks to take root. Then, another 200 demons sought to amplify your fears. They tried to overwhelm you with anxiety, panic, and paranoia, hoping to paralyze you with emotional turbulence. But even when the storm of fear rose around you, your inner peace remained intact. The more they pushed, the more you felt the strength of your spiritual resilience. Your faith in the divine kept you grounded, and their attempt to break your emotional equilibrium failed. The next 150 demons tried to divert your purpose by presenting false opportunities, leading you down paths that seemed appealing but would have ultimately misaligned you with your divine mission. They created distractions, hoping to pull you away from the path you were meant to walk. But you remained focused, because your spiritual clarity guided your steps, allowing you to see through their deceit. Another 200 demons attacked your energy, attempting to drain you and wear you down so that you would lose your vitality. They sought to make you weary, exhausted, and disconnected from your source of power. However, even in your moments of tiredness, you still found the strength to continue. Your spiritual reserves were deep, and even when your body felt weak, your soul remained strong. The remaining 100 demons tried to distort your perception, manipulating your view of reality to make you question what was real and what was not. They sowed confusion, trying to make you doubt your senses, your intuition, and your connection to divine guidance. But your spiritual clarity and truth kept you anchored in the light, and their attempts to cloud your vision had no power over you. In the end, even with 100 demons seeking to isolate you, attempting to make you feel alone, disconnected, and unsupported, your inner connection to the divine kept you grounded. They could not sever the bond between you and the higher spiritual realms, and though you may have felt lonely at times, you never wavered in your connection to the light. What you didn't realize during this battle is that you never fought consciously. It was your spiritual essence that took action on your behalf. The spiritual defense system that operates within you doesn't require your intervention. It's a divine mechanism that protects and defends your soul, guiding you through even the most intense spiritual attacks. Your spiritual immunity, built from a foundation of integrity, alignment with divine truth, and spiritual resilience repelled the attack. Every demonic force, no matter how cunning or powerful, was neutralized by your light, leaving them powerless and disbanded. Their attempts to break you down failed because you have been divinely designed to withstand the pressure of even the most intense spiritual battles. The battle was won not through force or willpower, but through alignment with divine truth. This victory wasn't just a momentary win, it's a lasting shift in your spiritual power. You are now invincible to forces of darkness because your spiritual immune system is permanently activated and the divine protection around you is unbreachable. Chosen one, as we continue to uncover the spiritual battle you unknowingly fought, it's essential to understand the specific strategy behind the demonic attack. These forces of darkness didn't just come at you randomly or without purpose. They launched a coordinated, multi-pronged assault, each demon with a specific function designed to break you down, to sow doubt, and to destabilize your spiritual foundation. The demons knew exactly what to target, because they understood the very essence of what made you strong, your integrity, your compassion, and your divine alignment. Each group of demons was assigned to disrupt different parts of your life, your mind, emotions, purpose, energy, perception, and relationships. They strategized, hoping to break you down slowly, attacking the very core of who you are. But what they didn't anticipate was the power of your spiritual defense system, which automatically neutralized their efforts. Despite their best strategies, you stood firm, and it wasn't by your conscious effort alone, it was because your soul, your essence, was protected by a force that the darkness could not touch. In this chapter, I'm going to break down exactly how the demons attacked you and what they targeted. As we walk through these specific attacks, understand that each one of them failed, not because you fought back in the traditional sense, but because your alignment with divine truth and your spiritual immunity were simply too powerful for them to breach. The first wave of demons that came against you were the demons of doubt. They were tasked with undermining your mind, sowing confusion, uncertainty, and insecurity in your heart and thoughts. These demons specialize in whispering lies and casting doubt on the very foundation of your spiritual journey. They tried to make you question your worth, your purpose, and the path you were walking. Their goal was to make you feel unworthy of the blessings and opportunities in your life. They wanted you to doubt the truth of your divine calling, to make you feel like you didn't deserve the success or spiritual growth you were experiencing. Their attack was subtle whispers of inadequacy and fear of failure that crept into your thoughts, trying to distract you from your purpose. But, chosen one, you were too strong. Every time a lie of doubt tried to creep in, your spiritual defenses repelled it. Your connection to the divine truth was too strong for their whispers to take root. You continued to walk in faith, trusting in your higher calling, knowing that your purpose was greater than the doubts that tried to invade your mind. These demons were rendered powerless because your mind was anchored in divine truth, and no matter how hard they tried, they could not shake your confidence. The second wave came in the form of 200 demons of fear. These demons didn't just seek to make you doubt, they aimed to paralyze you. Their job was to amplify your fears, to make you feel overwhelmed by the weight of the world, and to create a mental and emotional blockade that would prevent you from taking action on your divine purpose. They tried to fill your heart with anxiety and panic, convincing you that your journey was too dangerous, too uncertain, and that failure was inevitable. They came at you with a barrage of fears, fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of being judged, and even fear of success. Their goal was to make you feel paralyzed, unable to move forward, unable to trust the divine process. They wanted you to believe that the path ahead was too difficult, that the risks outweighed the rewards. But, once again, your spiritual immunity was too strong. The fear they tried to impose upon you was met with your courage, your trust in God's guidance, and your inner peace. Your faith in the divine plan remained unshaken. Every time a fear tried to take hold, it was immediately dispelled by your inner light. You didn't let the waves of fear stop you. You moved forward with divine trust, knowing that God was guiding your steps. The demons of fear, were unable to control you because your inner strength was unwavering. The third wave came in the form of 150 demons of distraction. These demons tried to distract you from your purpose by offering you false opportunities and misleading paths. They understood that if they could just pull your focus away from your divine mission, they could throw you off course. So, they crafted scenarios that seemed appealing, offering you things that looked like opportunities but were really distractions designed to misalign you with your divine purpose. These demons tried to pull you into unnecessary commitments, to divert your energy toward things that were not in alignment with your calling. They attempted to create false urgency, pushing you to take action without clarity, to make decisions that were based on external validation rather than divine guidance. Their goal was to mislead you, to make you chase after things that appeared attractive, but were ultimately not part of your spiritual path. But your spiritual clarity and inner guidance were far stronger than their attempts. You recognized the distractions for what they were, and you resisted the pull toward paths that were not aligned with your purpose. You remained focused on what you knew to be true, your calling, your divine path. The demons of distraction couldn't break your focus because your alignment with God's plan was steadfast. The fourth wave came in the form of 200 demons of exhaustion. These demons were sent to drain your energy, to make you feel weary and disconnected from your purpose. They attempted to overwhelm you with physical fatigue, emotional exhaustion, and a sense of being burned out. Their strategy was to get you to a place where you felt so tired and drained that you'd be unable to continue your mission. They tried to wear you down slowly, using external pressures, overwhelming responsibilities, and stressful situations to deplete your energy reserves. The demons aimed to get you to a point where you questioned if the fight was worth it, if the journey was even possible. They wanted to make you feel as though you couldn't go on. But your resilience was far greater than their attempts to drain you. Even in the midst of fatigue, you found strength. Your soul's energy was inexhaustible, and your spiritual alignment kept you grounded in divine peace. Even when you felt physically drained, your inner light fueled you, and the demons of exhaustion were unable to stop you from fulfilling your mission. Your spiritual energy was stronger than their efforts to deplete it. Chosen one, now that we've explored the first waves of spiritual attack you unknowingly overcame, let's continue to uncover the full extent of the demonic strategy that sought to pull you off your divine path. The spiritual battle was fierce and well-planned, and each demon was specifically assigned to weaken a different aspect of your being, your mind, emotions, purpose, energy, and perceptions. However, through each attack, you remained anchored in divine truth, and your spiritual defenses prevailed. The next waves of attack were just as insidious, but as we break them down, you'll understand why they failed and why your spiritual immunity was unbeatable. The fifth wave of demons came with a strategic attack on your perception. These 100 demons of perception distortion attempted to confuse you by distorting your view of reality. They sought to cloud your judgment, making you second-guess everything: your decisions, your relationships, your path forward. They tried to make you feel like everything was uncertain and untrustworthy. They used misleading thoughts and false realities, attempting to make you question what you knew to be true. Their tactics were subtle. They played on your fears and doubts, making you feel unsure of yourself and your divine purpose. They tried to plant seeds of confusion and misalignment by distorting your connection to God's guidance. Through the distortion of your perception, they aimed to pull you away from the clarity you had gained, making you feel disconnected from your intuition, your spiritual guidance, and the light that had always illuminated your path. But, chosen one, your spiritual clarity and faith in divine truth were stronger than their efforts. You have an innate ability to see through illusion, and your deep connection to your higher self kept you grounded. Every time your perception was distorted, you were able to return to your inner knowing, allowing your soul's wisdom to guide you. Your spiritual defenses kept you rooted in the truth, and the demons' efforts to confuse you failed. You saw through their tactics, and your ability to trust your intuition ensured that their distortions had no lasting effect. The sixth wave of attack was aimed at disturbing your peace. 50 demons of unnecessary conflict were sent to provoke discord and tension in your relationships and surroundings. These demons sought to create misunderstandings, arguing over trivial matters and escalating emotions that had nothing to do with your higher purpose. Their goal was simple: to distract you with conflict, hoping that you would waste your energy on battles that didn't matter. These demons fed on miscommunication and false accusations, seeking to stir up unnecessary drama in your life. They wanted you to react out of anger, frustration, or defensiveness. They aimed to pull you out of your center, to get you caught in unnecessary disputes, so you would lose focus on your divine path. But you, chosen one, have learned the power of peace. You understand that peace is not just a passive state, it's an active force that disarms negativity. Your integrity and ability to remain calm in the face of external conflict were your greatest weapons. While the demons tried to provoke you, your response was rooted in peace, your choices were grounded in love, and your ability to forgive and release conflict kept the demons powerless. Their efforts to disrupt your relationships and sow division were met with your spiritual resilience. And their attack was neutralized by your unwavering commitment to peace and harmony. The seventh wave of demons sought to attack one of the most vulnerable areas of human experience: isolation. They tried to make you feel alone in your journey, disconnected from others, and unsupported. The 100 demons of isolation tried to create an emotional barrier around you, convincing you that no one understood your journey or the weight of your spiritual mission. They attempted to make you feel like you were walking this path by yourself, disconnected from the community, and even from God's presence. These demons attempted to create emotional loneliness, pushing you to question your relationships and your place in the world. They wanted you to feel separate from the divine plan, as though you were fighting alone against forces too great for you to overcome. They sought to isolate you, leaving you vulnerable to despair. But chosen one, the reality is that you were never alone. The divine forces that have been supporting you, angels, guides, and spiritual protectors, were always there, watching over you, and ensuring that you remained aligned with your higher calling. Your connection to the divine was never severed, and the love you carry within you kept you grounded in unity with both God and the universe. Even in moments of loneliness, you were never truly isolated. Your ability to trust in divine support, even when it wasn't visible, kept you anchored in the knowledge that you are never alone. The demons of isolation tried to sever your connection, but your spiritual bond with the divine was too strong to be broken. They were unable to create the emotional distance they hoped for. You remained spiritually connected, and in this connection, you found the strength to resist their attack. You learned to trust that divine love would always surround you, and that you are part of a greater cosmic plan that no demon could disrupt. The final wave of demons, the 100 demons of sabotage, were the most direct in their attempt to break your spirit. They were assigned to sabotage your manifestations, to prevent your dreams, goals, and divine manifestations from coming to fruition. These demons targeted the very desires and visions that had been placed in your heart. They sought to make you believe that your dreams were out of reach, that your efforts would be in vain, and that your manifestations were impossible. These demons tried to create doubt in your own abilities, and to make you feel as though your divine purpose was slipping away. They amplified insecurities about your future, planted fear of failure, and made you question whether you could manifest the life you envisioned. Their goal was to get you to stop trying, to abandon your efforts, and to give up on your divine mission. But chosen one, your perseverance has always been your greatest strength. You refuse to be deterred by the forces of darkness, trying to dissuade you from your mission. Your faith remained unshaken, and your commitment to your divine calling was stronger than their attempts to undermine you. You knew that no force could block the divine plan for your life, and you continued to move forward despite their sabotage. The demons of sabotage failed because you were anchored in faith and divine alignment. No matter what obstacles they threw your way, you remained focused, and your divine manifestations began to unfold. The universe, aligned with your higher calling, worked with you to bring your dreams to life, and the demon's efforts were rendered powerless. Chosen one, now that we've explored the intense and coordinated attack you unknowingly faced, it's time to dive deeper into the heart of why you were able to resist and overcome this assault, even without consciously being aware of it. How did you stand your ground when 1,000 demons were strategically trying to break your spirit and derail your purpose? The answer lies in your spiritual immunity, a divine protection and strength that runs deeper than anything the enemy could possibly fathom. What made your defense so powerful, so impenetrable, was that your spiritual immunity didn't just come from external forces or temporary protection. It's a permanent part of your being. Your soul has been uniquely designed, forged through divine wisdom and spiritual resilience, to withstand extreme pressure, darkness, and spiritual attacks. Your spiritual immunity is something that operates on an automatic level, defending you from harm and neutralizing spiritual threats before they even reach you. In this chapter, we will reveal why your spiritual defenses were so powerful. We'll explore how your soul's composition and alignment with divine truth allowed you to effortlessly defeat the dark forces that tried to bring you down. Your immunity is not an external shield but a power within you, woven into your spiritual DNA, making you impervious to the forces of darkness. To understand how you were able to defeat the demons without consciously being aware of the attack, we must first explore the divine design of your soul. You were not randomly placed on this earth. You were divinely crafted with a purpose and an innate strength that allows you to endure spiritual warfare. Your soul is built to resist the pressures of darkness, and your spiritual frequency was specifically designed to be impervious to spiritual manipulation. Divine protection isn't just an act of shielding you when necessary. It's embedded in the very essence of your being. Your spiritual immunity comes from the alignment with divine purpose and the freedom from fear that comes with living in alignment with truth. Your soul's frequency resonates at a level that even the most powerful dark forces cannot penetrate. This spiritual immunity operates automatically, meaning that even if you don't consciously recognize a threat, your soul's divine design has already activated protection, ensuring you are never left vulnerable. It's not an ability you need to think about, but rather a powerful part of your spiritual makeup that works in the background, ensuring that your path remains clear and your soul remains protected. The divine protection system you possess doesn't require external rituals or mantras to activate. It is a built-in force that deflects any attack that doesn't align with your divine purpose. The spiritual forces around you are guided by your soul's connection to divine truth, and they work to neutralize any spiritual threat, blocking negative influences before they can even reach you. One of the main reasons your spiritual immunity is so powerful is because of your alignment with divine truth. In John 14:6, Jesus says, "I am the way, and the truth, and the life." Your alignment with divine truth, with God's higher wisdom, makes you untouchable by the forces of darkness. This truth is not just about knowledge or belief, it is about a deep connection to the divine that anchors you in love, integrity, and purpose. When you live in alignment with this truth, you automatically emit a spiritual frequency that repels darkness. The light within you becomes the shield against any attack, and the forces of darkness are unable to touch what is holy and aligned with God's will. Your soul's resonance with divine truth is too powerful for the demons to breach. The attack you faced was meant to create doubt and confusion, the very opposite of divine truth. But because you are so aligned with divine love, wisdom, and purpose, the lies that these demons tried to sow couldn't take root. Your soul's alignment with truth acted as a force field, blocking their attacks and neutralizing their influence. In John 8:32, we are told, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Your freedom from darkness comes from living in alignment with this divine truth. Your spiritual clarity and integrity are both the product of your relationship with divine truth, and they shield you from the manipulations of the enemy. You didn't need to actively fight back because your soul's alignment with divine truth was enough to repel their influence. Your immunity doesn't come from a single moment of divine intervention or a magical protection spell. It is the result of years of spiritual growth, faith, and alignment with divine will. This resilience was built over time, through the challenges you've faced, the tests you've passed, and the choices you made to stay true to your purpose, despite the obstacles. Every experience you've had, whether it was a moment of difficulty, suffering, or inner conflict, has contributed to the spiritual resilience you now carry. Your soul's strength has been forged through the lessons you've learned, and the divine protection that surrounds you is a direct result of your ability to stay true to your higher calling. In James 1:12, we are reminded, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." Each time you endured a trial and remained steadfast in your integrity, you built your spiritual resilience. Each test you passed strengthened your ability to withstand spiritual warfare, and now, that resilience is embedded in your very being. You've already endured the spiritual battle, and it has refined you. Your soul's composition is such that you were created to withstand extreme spiritual pressure. The demon's attacks were meant to tear you down, but instead, they only strengthened you. Your resilience made you invincible, and your spiritual immunity will only continue to grow as you walk in divine alignment with your true purpose. What you may not have fully realized is that divine protection is always active in your life, working on your behalf to ensure your path remains clear and that your divine purpose is fulfilled. The spiritual forces that support you, angels, guides, and celestial beings, are constantly guarding you and intervening on your behalf to ensure that no harm can touch you. Your spiritual immune system operates in harmony with these forces. It's not just about keeping you from harm. It's about aligning you with divine timing and making sure that everything you need to fulfill your purpose is provided. These celestial beings work behind the scenes to ensure that you are guided, protected, and empowered to fulfill your mission. In Psalm 34:7, it is written, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them." You are constantly surrounded by divine protection. This isn't a passive force, but an active, protective presence that guides you, removes obstacles, and aligns your path with your higher calling. Your spiritual immune system is part of this divine orchestration, and nothing can break through your defenses. Chosen one, as we continue to unravel the divine power of your spiritual immunity, it's important to fully understand how this invisible shield has shaped your path and enabled you to stand strong against forces that many others might not have been able to withstand. What makes your spiritual immunity so unique and powerful is that it operates automatically. You didn't need to consciously defend yourself. Your soul was divinely designed to operate in alignment with truth, light, and divine purpose, and as a result, your inner strength has naturally neutralized the attacks of the forces that sought to break you. In this part, we will explore how this immunity is not just a passive protection, but a powerful spiritual force that works tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure that nothing can derail you. Your spiritual immunity is a reflection of the deep divine wisdom and spiritual maturity you have cultivated, and it is what makes you invincible in the face of spiritual warfare. At the core of your spiritual immunity lies your spiritual frequency. Your frequency is the vibration of your soul, and it is aligned with divine truth. This alignment with higher spiritual realms makes your soul's vibration far more powerful than any of the forces of darkness. Darkness, whether in the form of fear, doubt, or spiritual attack, cannot operate at the same frequency as light. And because your soul vibrates at a frequency of love, truth, and compassion, it repels darkness automatically. The demons that came against you were trying to lower your frequency, to drag you into a state of fear, confusion, or despair, because they know that when your frequency drops, you become vulnerable to their influence. But the moment their attack began, your spiritual frequency responded. It automatically raised your vibration, ensuring that no force could penetrate your spiritual defenses. Your alignment with divine truth acts as a constant source of protection, and that protection operates at a level beyond your conscious awareness. In 1 John 4:4, it says, "You, dear children, are from God, and have overcome them, because the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world." This divine truth speaks to the power of your spiritual frequency. The one within you is greater than any force of darkness. The more aligned you are with this truth, the stronger your spiritual immunity becomes, and the more invincible you are to attacks from the enemy. Your soul's light shines so brightly that the darkness cannot touch you, and the spiritual forces that tried to derail you are simply repelled by the divine frequency you emit. The divine protection you carry is not simply about keeping you safe from harm, it is about empowering you to walk your divine path with confidence and clarity. This divine protection goes beyond physical safety. It also ensures that your spiritual journey is unhindered and that you remain aligned with your highest purpose. You are constantly surrounded by spiritual guardians, celestial beings, and divine forces that work in the unseen realms to protect and guide you. These guardians are not just passive protectors, they actively engage with the energy around you, ensuring that only positive forces influence your path and that any negative energies are neutralized before they can even reach you. This protection operates at a spiritual level, ensuring that your soul's light remains intact and that your purpose continues to unfold as it was destined to. In Psalm 91:11, it says, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." This promise of protection is now actively at work in your life. You are surrounded by angelic forces, spiritual guides, and divine protection that will not only keep you safe, but will actively clear obstacles and guide your steps as you walk forward in your divine purpose. Your spiritual immunity works in harmony with this divine protection, creating an unbreakable shield around your soul, your heart, and your mission. One of the most powerful aspects of your spiritual immunity is how it is tied to your integrity. Integrity is not just about making the right choices in the eyes of the world. It is about being fully aligned with divine truth in every aspect of your life. It's about living in alignment with your higher self, even when no one is watching, and choosing the right path, even when it is difficult or inconvenient. This spiritual integrity is what protects you from the negative influences of darkness and empowers you to remain steadfast in your divine calling. When you choose to walk in integrity, your spiritual frequency becomes stronger. Your integrity acts as a spiritual anchor, preventing you from being swayed by temptation, fear, or external pressures. Every time you choose to act with honesty, compassion, and love, you strengthen your spiritual defenses, and your soul becomes more invincible to the forces of darkness. The light of your integrity repels the darkness, making you immune to spiritual manipulation and attack. In Proverbs 12:1, it says, "Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid." Your integrity is a reflection of your commitment to divine truth. The divine wisdom you have cultivated through your integrity ensures that you are never vulnerable to the tricks or deceptions of the enemy. Your moral clarity acts as a shield, guiding you through spiritual battles with ease. The incredible power of your spiritual immunity doesn't just come from within, it is also supported by the unseen forces of divine support. You are not walking this path alone. The divine realm is actively working to ensure that your divine purpose is fulfilled and that no spiritual forces can hinder your progress. Your spiritual immunity is a result of this divine support, which continuously aligns with your higher calling. These unseen forces work behind the scenes to guide, protect, and empower you. Every time you make a decision aligned with your soul's purpose, divine support amplifies your actions and ensures that you are guided toward the right opportunities and relationships. Angelic beings are working tirelessly on your behalf, making sure that any spiritual resistance you face is neutralized before it can disrupt your path. In Psalm 34:7, it says, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them." You have an entire spiritual army around you, supporting you as you walk in your divine mission. These divine forces are not passive, they are actively engaged, guiding you through each step of your journey. As you move forward, divine intervention will ensure that your path is clear, that your spiritual purpose remains intact, and that no force can derail your divine mission. Chosen one, after the monumental victory you unknowingly achieved in the spiritual battle, something incredible happened that shook the very foundation of the spiritual realms. Not only did you overcome a coordinated attack by 1,000 demons, but the aftermath of this battle sent ripples through both the celestial and infernal realms. The forces of darkness, who had meticulously planned this assault, were forced to confront an unprecedented truth. You were no ordinary soul. You were not just a victim of their attack. You were an unshakable force, beyond their reach, and immune to their attempts to destroy you. The infernal commanders, who have seen countless spiritual wars and countless battles between light and darkness, now found themselves faced with a soul they could not control. They were forced to acknowledge the power and resilience you possess, and it left them trembling in fear. In this chapter, we'll dive into the reaction of the infernal commanders, the highest beings of darkness, who have long manipulated and controlled spiritual forces for their own evil purposes. After failing to break you, they were faced with a reality they had never before encountered. A soul so strong that it neutralized their most powerful attacks and remained impervious to their influence. This failure forced them to rethink their entire strategy, for they realized they had been dealing with something they couldn't comprehend, a soul beyond their control. To understand the gravity of the infernal commander's panic, we must first recognize who they are and why their reaction is so significant. The infernal commanders are powerful spiritual entities, often referred to as lords of darkness, rulers of the unseen realms, or princes of the spiritual forces of evil. These beings are ancient, highly intelligent, and strategic in their efforts to manipulate and control human souls. Their primary goal is to lead souls away from divine alignment, to distort truth, and to prevent spiritual awakening. They are masters of deception, fear, and manipulation, and they use their knowledge of the human mind and spirit to weaken, distort, and ultimately control souls that stand in the way of their dark purposes. These commanders orchestrate complex spiritual warfare. Their attacks are not random. They are calculated and well-planned. Their tactics are designed to wear down the soul they target, breaking them mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. For centuries, these beings have used fear, temptation, doubt, and misdirection to manipulate countless souls, bending them to their will. But you, chosen one, are different. The attack they launched against you, and the failure that followed, was unlike anything they had ever seen. When their best agents, demons specifically designed to break down human willpower, failed against you, the infernal commanders found themselves in uncharted territory. Their methods had no effect, and this shocked them to the core. They couldn't understand why their most powerful forces couldn't even touch you. They were faced with a soul whose spiritual frequency was so high, so aligned with divine truth, that no darkness could penetrate it. This defeat made the infernal commanders question everything. How could a soul so unassuming, so seemingly fragile, stand firm against their darkest and most powerful forces? How could someone who appeared to be just another human be so immune to their attacks? They were forced to confront a truth they could not deny. You were no ordinary soul. Your spiritual power and alignment with divine truth made you impervious to the forces they had always relied on to manipulate and break others. One of the most remarkable moments that followed was the submission of the devil himself. The devil, the chief ruler of darkness, the one who has led countless armies of demons and spiritual forces against light, was forced to kneel before your spiritual power. This moment was not just a symbolic gesture, it was a profound recognition of your strength, your resilience, and the divine authority you now carry. The devil, who has never bowed to anyone, found himself in a position of humility before you. He recognized, in that moment, that his forces were no match for your divine light. What was even more devastating to him was the realization that his power had no hold on you. His best agents, his most cunning and powerful demons had failed to break you, and in his defeat, he was forced to submit to the fact that you were now operating at a level of divine authority that surpassed even his ability to influence. For the devil to kneel was a cosmic shift. It was the acknowledgement that you had transcended darkness, that you had overcome the forces of evil, and that nothing in the spiritual realm could bring you down. This was the ultimate victory, not just over the attack you faced, but over darkness itself. Your light and your integrity made you invincible, and the devil knew it. After witnessing the devil's submission, the infernal commanders were left with a deep sense of fear. They realized they had encountered something they could not control, something beyond their reach. Their most powerful strategies, their deepest manipulations, and their darkest powers had been completely neutralized by your unwavering integrity and divine alignment. For the first time, the forces of darkness were forced to acknowledge that they could no longer dictate the course of your soul's journey. You were no longer a target. You had become a force of light too powerful to be controlled or manipulated. The spiritual realm had shifted, and the infernal commanders knew they were dealing with a soul of divine power that was destined for something greater than they could comprehend. The devastation caused by this realization was immense. The commanders, who had been used to seeing their forces crush the spirits of others, were now confronted by a soul that could not be broken. Your resilience had broken their belief in their ability to control, and your spiritual immunity left them powerless. In their panic, they began to reconsider their strategy, as they realized they were dealing with a force that even they could not defeat. What followed in the infernal realms was a shift in strategy. The dark forces now understood that you were not just a passive soul walking through life. You were a divinely chosen vessel, one that had been empowered by God to carry out a greater mission. They knew that they could no longer stand in your way. Your resilience and spiritual immunity marked the beginning of a new era for you, chosen one. You are no longer just a soul on a journey. You are a spiritual warrior, destined to bring light to the world and help others transcend the forces of darkness. The spiritual battle you've already won has set you on the path to fulfilling your divine mission, and the unseen forces are now actively working to ensure that your purpose is fulfilled. You've been recognized by the celestial realms, and the infernal forces know that you are beyond their reach. The victory you've achieved is not just personal, it has cosmic significance, and it sets the stage for the manifestation of your divine purpose. The path ahead is now open to you, and nothing can stop you from walking it. Chosen one, as we continue to explore the aftermath of the spiritual victory you unknowingly won, we now turn our attention to the profound shift this victory caused in the spiritual realm. The moment when the infernal commanders were forced to acknowledge your strength and submit to your divine power marked a pivotal turning point in the cosmic balance. The fear that they now carried, having witnessed your invincibility, set in motion a transformation in how they would approach you in the future. What they failed to anticipate and what they had to come to terms with was that you are no ordinary soul. You are not just someone they can manipulate or break down. You are a force of divine light, a soul forged with an unshakable foundation in truth, integrity, and divine alignment. This realization sent shockwaves through both the celestial and infernal realms. For the first time in their existence, they recognize that there are some souls that are beyond their reach, souls that cannot be swayed, controlled, or manipulated. Now, the infernal commanders, who are used to operating with calculated precision, who have spent millennia mastering their craft of spiritual warfare, were left to rethink their strategies. What they had just encountered was a soul so deeply aligned with divine purpose that no matter the strength or cunning of their attack, they could not defeat it. They had to accept that they were facing something extraordinary, and in doing so, they were forced to shift their approach in ways they never anticipated. The devil's submission before you, an act that has never occurred in the history of spiritual warfare, was the first sign of the cosmic shift that followed. The devil, the leader of the infernal forces, the one who has orchestrated the chaos of the world for millennia, knelt before you. This was not just symbolic, It was an acknowledgement of your divine strength, your spiritual authority, and your invincibility. It's important to understand that the devil does not kneel to anyone. Throughout history, he has demanded submission from countless souls, luring them into darkness and making them bend to his will. But when he encountered you, he was forced to face an uncomfortable truth. You were beyond his influence. The force of your integrity, light, and spiritual immunity was too powerful for him to manipulate or overcome. In that moment, the devil realized that his powers, his temptations, deceptions, and fear tactics had no effect on you. You stood firm in your truth, and that truth was unbreakable. This act of submission was not just a sign of defeat. It was a cosmic revelation that has profound significance for both you and the spiritual realms. The devil's failure to break you, and his acknowledgement of your strength, has shifted the spiritual dynamic. You are now operating on a different level of spiritual authority. No longer will you be seen as a vulnerable soul. You are now viewed as a divine warrior, someone who has withstood the greatest spiritual challenges and emerged victorious. What followed the devil's submission was a wave of fear among the infernal commanders. For the first time, they were confronted with something they had never encountered before: a soul they could not break. These high-ranking spiritual entities, who have orchestrated countless attacks, came to realize that their forces, their strongest tactics, were useless against you. The spiritual armor you wore, forged through your divine connection, integrity, and unwavering light, made you invincible to their attacks. This caused panic among the infernal commanders. They had become accustomed to manipulating human souls, exploiting their weaknesses, and breaking them down through fear, doubt, and despair. But now, they had encountered someone who had no weakness to exploit. Your soul was impervious to their influence, and no matter how hard they tried, they could not find a way to penetrate the strength of your spiritual defenses. The fear they felt was not just about their inability to break you, it was about the realization that you were not just any soul. You were a divine being, empowered by light and truth, and your spiritual strength had transcended their control. This shift in power was something they had never anticipated, and it forced them to rethink their approach. The infernal commanders had always believed they had the upper hand, but now, they were faced with the undeniable truth. You were beyond their reach, and they had no power over you. The fear and realization that now permeated the infernal realms were not only felt by the forces of darkness, they were felt by the forces of light as well. Your spiritual victory was not just personal, it was a cosmic event that has rippled through the universe. The divine authorities watching over you have long known your potential, but this moment confirms something even greater. You are a soul of divine power, a spiritual warrior who is destined to fulfill a greater mission in the world. The shift in the spiritual battle now positions you as a spiritual leader, someone who has proven their strength, resilience, and divine alignment. The forces of darkness now recognize that you cannot be moved, that you cannot be defeated, and that nothing can derail your purpose. This realization has set the stage for your next phase of spiritual growth and divine manifestation. You have been chosen for a higher purpose, and the victory you won is not just a personal triumph, it is a cosmic affirmation of your strength and your place in the divine order. The forces of darkness now know that they cannot defeat you, and this has set in motion a series of cosmic events that will allow you to fulfill your spiritual mission. You are now recognized as a soul of light, empowered by the divine to bring transformation, healing, and spiritual leadership to the world. In the wake of your victory, you have now been elevated to a higher spiritual authority. The spiritual battle you faced, unknowingly, has not only refined you, but has empowered you to step fully into your divine role. You are no longer a passive participant in this spiritual war. You are now a divine warrior, someone who stands firm in their truth, light, and purpose, and who commands spiritual forces to align with their divine calling. Your spiritual authority has been affirmed, and you are now operating from a place of divine power. This power is not just a gift, it is a responsibility. You are now called to lead, to guide others, and to help bring light to those lost in darkness. Your invincibility is not just for your protection, it is a sign that you are meant to be a force for transformation in the world. The forces of darkness cannot stop you, and the forces of light are now aligned with your purpose, ensuring that your mission will be fulfilled. Chosen one, we now arrive at the culmination of the spiritual journey you've undertaken, an extraordinary transformation that has shaped you into something much more than what you once were. The battles you've faced, the divine protection you've received, and the resilience you've shown have not only led to personal victories, but have also elevated your soul to a level that is beyond the reach of darkness. The spiritual victories you've achieved have secured for you a divine mark of invincibility, a cosmic protection that ensures you are immune to forces of destruction, including the ultimate force that all beings must face, death itself. This chapter reveals the profound significance of your transformation and the protection you now carry as a result of your divine integrity and spiritual victory. The forces of darkness have tried to break you, to undermine your soul's power, but you have emerged invincible, undefeated, and unshakable. And now, the ultimate consequence of your victory is that death itself has no power over you. Through your spiritual alignment, divine purpose, and the strength of your soul, you have earned a mark that signifies divine protection and immortality. In the spiritual realms, this mark is not just a symbol, it is a sign of your divine connection and purpose. It marks you as someone who has transcended fear and limitation, and who is protected by celestial forces. This mark of invincibility is not only about your physical protection, but is a spiritual armor that ensures that no premature death, no evil force, and no dark power can cut your soul's journey short. You are now guided by divine protection, and your divine purpose is now fully aligned with eternal life. What does it mean to carry the mark of invincibility? This mark, chosen one, signifies that you have transcended the fear of death and now walk in the full knowledge of your divine purpose. The forces of darkness, including death itself, cannot have dominion over you. The fear that death often brings of being cut off from the life you know, of losing what you hold dear, is no longer a threat. Your spiritual power, your divine connection, and your soul's alignment with the divine have transformed you into a being who can no longer be affected by the threat of premature death. The divine mark you carry now shields you from spiritual death, ensuring that your soul's divine purpose will not be thwarted by forces of darkness or even physical harm. Death is no longer an end for you. It is only a transition. You've learned to transcend the illusion of mortality and have embraced the truth that your soul's journey is eternal. This spiritual immortality is not just a protection, it is a divine confirmation that your soul's mission is ongoing, unimpeded by time or circumstances. In 1 Corinthians 15:54-55, it is written, "Death has been swallowed up in victory. Where, O death, is your victory? Where, O death, is your sting?" This divine victory over death is what the mark of invincibility represents. By standing firm in your divine purpose, by overcoming the dark forces that sought to derail you, and by aligning yourself with divine truth, you have broken free from the power of death. This invincibility means that your purpose is now eternal, and no force, whether physical or spiritual, can cut your divine mission short. The moment you overcame the forces of darkness, you unknowingly earned the respect of something even more powerful: death itself. The spiritual battle you won wasn't just about defending yourself against spiritual attack. It was about defeating the very forces that attempt to control the flow of life and death. And in the cosmic balance, death itself recognized your strength. It realized that your soul, anchored in divine truth and integrity, is not bound by the physical laws that govern life and death. In the spiritual realms, death is often seen as a force of control, one that dictates the end of life's journey and the transition to the next. But when you overcame the spiritual forces of darkness, death itself had no power over you. Your soul's light and divine alignment were too strong to be overshadowed by fear, pain, or the finality that death represents. As a result, death recognized your invincibility. It had no claim over you. In Psalm 116:15, it is written, "Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his faithful servants." This verse highlights the divine perspective on death. For you, chosen one, death is no longer a force of fear or destruction. It is merely a transition that does not dictate the end of your soul's journey. Your mark of invincibility signifies that you are under divine protection, and that no premature death can take you before your mission is complete. Your soul's journey is divinely protected, and death cannot take you before your time. As you move forward in your divine journey, understand that the mark of invincibility not only protects you from premature death, but also ensures that your divine purpose will be fulfilled. You are not merely protected from spiritual harm, you are now guided and supported by divine forces to fulfill your purpose without hindrance. Death cannot hinder your path. It has been defeated, and the divine light within you has transcended its hold. This profound spiritual protection doesn't just apply to your physical life, but extends to the fulfillment of your divine mission. As you continue to walk in your divine calling, you will experience greater levels of clarity, opportunities, and spiritual empowerment, knowing that your path is divinely guarded and protected. Divine intervention will continue to manifest in ways that align with your purpose, ensuring that you remain guided and that nothing can derail the course of your mission. In Romans 8:31, it says, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" This powerful promise applies to you, chosen one. The divine protection you now carry is a testament to the truth that nothing can stand in your way. You are shielded from the forces that once sought to hinder you, and your divine purpose is now fully activated and protected by celestial forces. With the mark of invincibility you now carry, your divine mission is no longer subject to the whims of life and death. The spiritual forces that once sought to derail your purpose have been rendered powerless. Your journey is now guaranteed protection. You will walk forward with confidence, knowing that your mission will be fulfilled and that you will continue to be guided by divine light until your purpose is complete. The fear of death and the illusion of mortality will no longer distract or hold you back. You are now free to fulfill your divine calling. In Hebrews 2:14-15, it is written, "Since the children have flesh and blood, he too shared in their humanity, so that by his death he might break the power of him who holds the power of death, that is, the devil, and free those who all their lives were held in slavery by their fear of death." Your victory over death has already been won. You are now free from the fear of death and the spiritual chains that darkness once tried to use against you. Chosen one, as we continue to explore the mark of invincibility that you now carry, we move into the profound consequences of this divine protection. The victory over the forces of darkness has not only secured your spiritual safety but has also set you on a path of divine empowerment. The spiritual protection and spiritual frequency you now carry are a testament to the fact that your mission is untouchable. No force can cut short the divine purpose that has been planted in your soul. In this phase of your journey, the mark of invincibility that you now possess will not just safeguard you from premature death, it will ensure that nothing can thwart your path forward. The protection you now have is a divine promise, a confirmation that you are walking in alignment with the divine plan for your life. As we explore the second part of this chapter, we will uncover how this divine shield empowers you to manifest your purpose with greater clarity, confidence, and divine favor. Your purpose is now protected by celestial forces, and with this protection comes the promise that nothing can stand in your way. One of the most significant aspects of the mark of invincibility is the fact that you are immune to premature death. Your divine purpose is so important, so intricately woven into the fabric of the universe, that nothing can cut it short. The celestial forces now actively ensure that your life's journey unfolds exactly as it was destined to. While many souls are vulnerable to the forces of death, whether through spiritual attack, premature health crises, or accidents, you are now protected from these threats. This protection does not mean that death will never come. It simply means that your purpose will not be hindered or cut short prematurely. Death itself now recognizes your spiritual strength and divine mission, and it respects the journey you are on. No force, not even death itself, can take you from this earth until your divine purpose has been fully fulfilled. You are now free from the fear of untimely endings and the unknown, and you can move forward with boldness and clarity, knowing that your life is aligned with the will of the divine. In Psalm 139:16, it is written, "All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." This verse reveals that your journey is divinely ordained, and the timing of your soul's mission is perfect. No force of darkness can manipulate or disrupt your divine timeline. God's plan for your life is now fully aligned with your soul's purpose, and the protection that surrounds you guarantees that your purpose will be fulfilled according to divine timing. With the divine mark of invincibility now active in your life, you will notice a profound shift in the abundance that flows to you. The protection you've received extends beyond spiritual safety. It now extends into the realm of your material and emotional life. Divine favor will manifest in ways that are tangible, and you will experience accelerated growth, new opportunities, and alignment with your highest good. In the coming months, you will begin to see how divine protection is working to align your resources, relationships, and career with your divine purpose. The forces of darkness that once sought to prevent your manifestations now have no power over you. The blessings that are aligned with your divine calling will begin to flow effortlessly. Opportunities that were once distant or seemingly out of reach will now come to you with divine timing and ease. The universe has already started aligning everything you need to walk into your full divine purpose, and divine favor will ensure that you have everything required for your spiritual mission. In Deuteronomy 28:12, it says, "The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to send rain on your land in season, and to bless all the work of your hands." As you continue to walk in alignment with your purpose, divine blessings will pour into your life. You will see how the favor of God accelerates the manifestations of your divine mission. Your spiritual growth will be reflected in your material success, and you will be empowered to continue to fulfill your divine calling. With your invincibility now secured and your divine favor activated, you will begin to notice how the external world aligns with your inner transformation. Your spiritual immunity has opened the door to divine manifestations, and your soul's purpose will now be fully reflected in your material life. You will experience a deep sense of fulfillment as the blessings and opportunities that align with your purpose begin to materialize. This phase will be marked by rapid spiritual growth and personal transformation. You will see that the difficulties you once faced are now behind you, and the challenges that once seemed insurmountable will now seem like stepping stones, leading you to greater heights. You are now operating in a higher frequency, and as a result, divine synchronicities will increase. Opportunities, resources, and people aligned with your purpose will appear effortlessly, and you will begin to see the fruits of your labor. In Jeremiah 29:11, it is written, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." This is the season where the plans God has for your life will begin to manifest with clarity. You will see how everything you've done in alignment with divine truth has now set the stage for divine blessings and spiritual abundance. As you move forward, understand that your mission is secure. The divine protection surrounding you ensures that nothing can derail your purpose. The forces of darkness have no power over you, and the mark of invincibility you carry guarantees that your soul's journey will continue, unimpeded by any force. You are now immune to the fear of untimely endings, and you can move forward with confidence, knowing that you are divinely protected and empowered. You are destined to fulfill your divine mission, and this mark is your eternal seal, a sign of divine favor and protection that will guide you toward spiritual fulfillment. The obstacles that once seemed overwhelming are now distant memories, and your path forward will be clear and aligned with divine timing. Thank you so much for joining us on this divine journey today. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We want to keep spreading these life-changing insights to those who need it the most. Your support helps us reach more people And together, we can create a wave of transformation that will ripple across the world. If you're ready to embrace the transformation that's unfolding in your life, let us know in the comments below. Remember, your breakthrough is coming, and we're here to walk with you every step of the way. Stay aligned, stay faith-filled, and see you in the next video.